ॐ ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शंकरं लोक शंकरं शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्र भाष्य कृतौ वंदे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ओम त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। ओम गुरुदेव भगवान शिव शंकर भोलेनाथ कैलाशपति महाराज की जय हो। भगवान व्यास जी महाराज की जय हो। शंकराचार्य भगवान की जय हो। स्वामी तपोवन जी महाराज की जय। स्वामी चिन्मयानंद भगवान की जय। स्वामी दयानंद भगवान, स्वामी प्रबुद्धानंद भगवान की जय हो। स्वामी शुद्धानंद भगवान की जय। साध्वी आनंद ज्योति जी की जय हो। सभी गुरु देवताओं की जय हो। माता पिता की जय हो। ओम परमात्मने नमः। अत 10मो अध्यायः विभूति योगायः। श्री भगवान् उवाचः भूय एव महाबाहो ऋणु मे परमं वचः यत्ते अहं प्रीयमाणाय वक्ष्यामि हितकामायया। न मे विदुसुरगणाः प्रभवं न महर्षयः अहम् आदिः देवानां महर्षीणां च सर्वशः। यः माम् अजम् अनादिं च वेत्ति लोकमहेश्वरम् असमूढः स मृत्युषु सर्वपापे प्रमुच्यते। विभूति योग 10वां अध्याय, 10वां अध्याय हमने शुरू किया कल, जो है विभूति योग या उपासना योग। अब हम भगवान की महिमा का वर्णन करेंगे। भगवान की जो महिमा, भगवान की महिमा का मत भगवान का स्वरूप ही है। भगवान की महिमा भगवान का ही स्वरूप है। भगवान का स्वरूप, भगवान आप अनित्य है, आप निराकार हैं, आप परमात्मा हैं, और आप सत्य हैं, आप चित्त है, आप आनंद स्वरूप हैं, आप सत्य है, आप ज्ञान हैं, आप आनंद स्वरूप हैं। ये सब भगवान की महिमाएं हैं। मगर इन महिमाओं के साथ ये महिमा वही गान कर सकता है जो जानता है, जो ईश्वर को जानता है, जिसने ईश्वर को समझ लिया है। पर जिसने ईश्वर को नहीं समझा है, जो मानता है, उनके लिए महिमाओं का वर्णन करते हैं भगवान उपासना योग में। एनीथिंग, भगवान कहते हैं एनीथिंग दैट इज यूजफुल, एनीथिंग दैट इज यूजफुल इज परमात्मा। एनीथिंग दैट इज यूजफुल, जो भी काम की वस्तु है, काम की मतलब जो भी वस्तु की आवश्यकता है वह ईश्वर ही है। जो भी वस्तु की आवश्यकता ईश्वर को पाने के लिए है, वो सब वस्तुएं, वो सब विषय ईश्वर है, परमात्मा है। ऑल दैट इज परमात्मा। द वन दैट स्टैंड्स आउट, द वन दैट स्टैंड्स आउट इज परमात्मा, महात्मा। This we have to understand. Bhagavan says bhuyah eva mahabaho, mahabaho, हे महाबाहो, the one who is capable of understanding, महाबाहो, हे महाबाहो, फिर भी मेरे परम रहस्य, परमम 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 रहस्य, परम रहस्य क्या है? टीचिंग अबाउट द ट्रूथ, मेरे सत्य स्वरूप को, मेरे सत्य स्वरूप के वचनों को सुनो, वचः श्रृणु, श्रृणु मीन्स सुनो, यत जिसे मैं तुझे प्रिय मानाय, अपना प्रिय मान करके, हित कामाय, तेरी हित की इच्छा से, वक्ष्यामि, बताता हूं. I am telling you this because you are my priya. You want to know me. The one who wants to understand Ishvara is dear to him. You call dear, no? Dear friend, dear wife, dear son, dear daughter, dear father, dear mother, dear. Bhagwan calls dear to the one who wants to understand Paramatma. The one who wants to understand Paramatma is dear to him. There is no one other dear. Only dear one is the one who wants to understand Paramatma. The Satta Swarup of Paramatma is dear to Paramatma. This dear is glorious. Then the one who wants to understand Paramatma, after understanding is Paramatma alone. जो भगवान को जानना चाहता है, वो भगवान को प्रिय क्यों है? Because he becomes one with परमात्मा. वो भगवान के साथ एक हो जाता है, इसीलिए भगवान को प्रिय है, क्योंकि वो भगवान को जानना चाहता है. Recognizing Ishvara's glory is benefit for you. If you recognize all the glories as Ishvara's glories, your pride, your ahankara goes. अगर आप ये मान लें कि जो भी अच्छी चीज है, जो भी अच्छी मीन्स जो मुझे प्रिय है, जो भी मुझे प्रिय है वह ईश्वर है. That is Ishvara. The one which is dear to me is Ishvara, is Ishwar's glory, is Ishwar. All your pride, जो भी आपका मैं है वो सब परमात्मा है. इस बात को समझना. जो भी आपका प्रिय है वो परमात्मा है. तो आपके प्रिय अगर परमात्मा हो जाए तो आपके अंदर से मयत्व का भाव चला जाएगा, अहंकार का भाव चला जाएगा. How will it go? If you like dhanam, dhan is priya to you, then dhanam is Ishvara. And if dhan is Ishvara, then you don't have to say it is mine. Ishvara, it is Ishvara. You are Ishvara. It is you alone. Even including dhanam, it is you alone. Dhan is you. Who is dhan? You are dhanam. You are dhan. Dhan, the one who can understand, is dhanam. These all these sansarik uplabdhis, sansarik availabilities, sansarik sadhans can be called as dhan. They are also Ishvara only, but the main dhan is the dhan to understand Paramatma. That Paramatma is you. That dhan is you. Whatever you like, you can zero it down to Paramatma. So everything, all the glories are of Paramatma. That paves the way for understanding what Ishvara is. आप इस प्रकार समझ पाएंगे कि ईश्वर क्या है. What Ishvara is. What stands between you and Ishvara is after all, is your ego only. It is the जीवत्वम which stands between you and Paramatma. जीवा और जीव परमात्मा के बीच में जीवत्वम खड़ा है. मैं जीव हूं. That जीवत्वम is standing in between. What stands between you and Ishvara is your ego. That ego has to be dilated and then dismissed. You have to dismiss this ego by knowledge. And this can be done through knowledge. That is why Bhagavan says, the one who wants to understand me is priya to me. The dilation of the ego is not easy. It is not easy. You cannot dilate ego itna aram se. You have to understand. You have to go through the knowledge of Shastra. The deletion of the ego is not easy because knowledge of Shastra generally inflates the ego. So how do you deflate it? Generally, what happens is when somebody knows Shastra, he becomes, oh, I am the knower of Shastras. My ego gets deflated when I understand that everything makes me feel glorious belongs to Bhagavan. This knowledge is Bhagavan's knowledge. ये ज्ञान भगवान है. अगर मुझे मिला है, प्राप्त हो रहा है, तो it is Ishwara which is coming. It is Ishwara in form of knowledge. It is all ईश्वरा. ये ज्ञान भी ईश्वर का है, ये धन भी ईश्वर का है. All the sadhans which are required for understanding Ishwara is Ishwara alone. All the glories, all everything, this environment, the sthiti, the paristhiti I have got is Ishwara. Everything is Ishwara, Ishwara. So you have to zero down everything to Ishwara. All everything belongs to Bhagwan. If I say my precious wealth is something that I have gathered with great effort, I cannot say it because belongs to somebody else. It is my effort. That is how I become possessive. How do you become possessive? Because I have done. I have put in effort. मैंने मेहनत करके बहुत धन कमाया. मैंने मेहनत करके धन कमाया है. ये धन मेरा है. This is mine. I become possessive. The sense of ownership gives me kind of self-esteem. This is mine. I have earned this house. I have earned this gadi. I have earned this much of bank balance, these FDs, this gold and everything. It is me. It is me who has educated my children. See how great they are today. Somebody is engineer, they are working in UN and everything. I have made them. That self-esteem. But the very fact that I require self-esteem shows that I do not have much of it. So how am I going to part with the hard-earned money accomplishment and say that all glories belong to Bhagwan? मैं कैसे कहूं कि ये सब भगवान का है? मैं पालता हूं बच्चों को, मैंने बहुत धन कमाया है, मैंने बड़ी मेहनत करी है, धूप के अंदर खड़ी मेहनत मैंने करी है. It is me who had been working for last 30 years, 40 years and 50 years, working so hard. How can you say that it is all Bhagavan? You do not have to part with anything. आपको कुछ छोड़ना नहीं है. Suppose a person is capable of thinking properly, that clarity in thinking is a glory. If you think properly, अगर आप ध्यान से समझेंगे, ध्यान से सुनेंगे, भगवान की महिमा का ध्यान करेंगे, you will come to know. You will come to know. It is not an ordinary accomplishment. It is the highest achievement you can have as a human being. There is nothing more beautiful than clarity in thinking. आपको अपनी सोच को सही करना है. There is nothing more beautiful in. If there is such a capacity enjoyed by a given person, then there cannot be pride about it. There can only be appreciation to Ishvara. That very clarity of thinking should help you to recognize that all your, because Ishvara is in form of effort. परमात्मा ही मेहनत के रूप में आपके पास है. He is. The mehnat is Paramatma. Purusharth is Paramatma. Paramatma is Purushartha. The Purushartha, जो मेहनत आप कर रहे हैं, that mehnat is Ishvara. If you recognize this, then everything belongs to Ishvara. सब कुछ ईश्वर का है. Everything, all your efforts, all everything is Ishvara's glory. It is Ishvara. Ishvara is. Ishvara alone is. You don't do anything. It is Ishvara's glory. It is Ishvara in form of efforts. Help you. Or he does. In form of efforts, he does. मेहनत के रूप में भगवान कार्यरत रहे. पूरा 40 साल 50 साल आपके मेहनत के रूप में भगवान कार्यरत थे. If it was not Bhagwan, then who could have done it? There are a lot of people putting in. You say no कि वो मेहनत करता है, he gets 100 rupees. मैं मेहनत करता हूं तो I get 80 rupees. The difference is there. The clarity should be there. This is Bhagavan ko effort. It all efforts belong to Bhagavan. This is Bhagavan's glory. ये बात आपको समझनी है. All your purushartha is Bhagavan. Purushartha is Ishwara. Ishwar. All you have to this thinking, this clarity should help. Clarity of thinking should help you recognize that all this belongs to Ishvara. There is no personal accomplishment. Kuch personal nahi hai. Everything is Ishvara, and whatever glory you have is Ishvara's glory. That recognition, this recognition does lot of good. Hitaha. ये आपका हित करता है. Even though it is relative, but then it helps you. So, this Vibhuti Yoga benefits you in twofold ways. It reveals Bhagavat Tattva, the nature of Bhagavan, whereby you recognize the full meaning of the sentence Aham Brahmasmi, I am the Lord. That is the ultimate Hita called Shreyas. But in order to get Shreyas, there is relative Hita necessary. If you recognize Ishvara's glory, it is altogether different. Whenever you see someone who is extraordinarily gifted, instead of feeling jealous, you can say, as I have some glories, he also has some. In him, Ishvara's glory is expressed. In Karma Pala also, it is Ishvara. It is Ishvara is a phala swarupaha. Effort is Ishvara. Karma phala is Ishvara. Everything is Ishvara. This must be understood very clearly. अगर आप ये बात को ध्यान से समझते हैं, if you understand Bhagavan's glory clearly, it will benefit in you. ये आपको दो तरीके से फायदा देगा. How? It will help you. आपको समझ में आएगा भगवान का तत्व, भागवत तत्व समझ में आएगा, भगवान के स्वरूप को आप जानने में आसानी. अहम ब्रह्मस्मि, मैं ही ब्रह्म हूं, इस वाक्य को आप समझ पाएंगे. You will understand this sentence, the Mahavakya Aham Brahmasmi, when you will understand Ishvara's glory, when you will take everything as Ishvara, Aham Brahmasmi. It will be easier to understand. This is your ultimate hita. Ultimate hit जो है वो भगवान को जानने से, that is your hit. आपका हित है. This is called Shreyas. ये अति उत्तम है. But in order to get this Shreyas, इस श्रेयस तक पहुंचने के लिए there is relative. थोड़ा थोड़ा हित भी चाहिए. You need some part of it. थोड़ा हित आज मिले, so that I have accomplished this, God has helped me to accomplish this, now I am peaceful, अब मैं peaceful हूँ, let me think of Paramatma. You can always keep thinking of Paramatma. You only recognize the glory of Ishvara wherever you see something beautiful. Therefore, there is an important chapter for a seeker. This is most important chapter for the seeker. This is what I am going to tell you. So please listen. Why do Bhagavan have to say this here? Perhaps you get it from somewhere else. Why should he spend his time repeating the glories of the Himalayas is me? Why does he, भगवान को ये कहने की क्या जरूरत है कि हिमालय मैं हूं, the glory of Everest is me, the glory of Ganga is me. Some pandita can do this. कोई पंडित आकर भी ये बता सकता है. What is the point of teaching this here? ये बात यहाँ कहने की क्या आवश्यकता है कि everything, all the glories are Ishvara's glory. That validity can only come from Bhagavan. Therefore, Bhagavan can speak authoritatively. These glories, only Bhagavan can, with the authority, पूरे अधिकार के साथ सिर्फ भगवान कह सकते हैं कि ये सब कुछ मेरा है. Everything is me alone. It is my glory. authority of his glory. This makes it clear in the next verse. अगले श्लोक में भगवान इस बात को पूर्ण रूप से क्लियर करते हैं. He says, भगवान says, न मे विदुसुरगणः प्रभवं न महर्षयः अहम् आदिः देवानां महर्षिणां च सर्वशः. मेरी ही प्रभवम. भगवान डजंट हैव सोर्स, ही इज द सोर्स. प्रभवम, मेरा ही प्रभाव है. ये सब भगवान का प्रभाव. अंडरस्टैंड द वर्ड प्रभव. प्रभव उत्पत्ति को अर्थात लीला को प्रकट होने को, मतलब everything is me alone. It is me. The appearance is me. The appearance, that appearance is me. That verb of appearing, appearing, दिखना, ये जो दिखना है, that is me. मैं ही दिख रहा हूं. प्रभवम, I don't have any source. मेरा कोई सोर्स नहीं है. I am the source. I am उत्पत्ति को. I am the प्रभवम. न सुरागणः, न सुरागणः, देवता लोग जानते हैं. देवता लोग इस बात को नहीं जानते हैं. न महर्षि जन, महर्षि ही जानते हैं. क्योंकि ही अहम, मैं, सर्वशः, सब प्रकार से, बाय ऑल मीन्स, देवा नाम, देवताओं, च और महर्षि नाम, महर्षि को का भी आधिकरण हूं. आई एम द सोर्स. I am the origin of this jagat. I am the origin of entire sansara. Entire sansara is from me. Whatever the appearance is me. This means that appearance is me alone. What you see is me. Whatever you see, that seeing is me. ये जो देखना है, this देखना is me. Bhagwan says, only Bhagwan can speak authoritatively about his glories. Nobody else can talk, but only Bhagwan. The whole host of gods do not know me. कोई नहीं जानता. सारे के सारे देवता, अन्य देवता गण मुझे नहीं जानते. They don't know my glories of coming into being as this world. देवता नहीं जानते कि वो किस प्रकार से it is me only which is appearing as them. It is me which is appearing as them. Nor do the sages, because I am the cause of all gods and sages. मैं ही कारण हूं सभी का. मी प्रभवम. प्रभवम can be taken as my glory. प्रभवम, my shaktis or my coming into being in form of this world. See, भगवान बताते हैं कि it is my glory. This appearance is my glory. प्रभवम, मैं ही दिखता हूं, प्रभाव में आता हूं. प्रभवम. न विदु, they do not really know, they don't understand. They all know but not totally. Who? We are talking about local people here. Suraganaha, the whole host of gods. Sura and devas like Indra, Varuna and so on. Even they don't know me totally. They may know themselves as Paramatma, but still they don't know all the glories of Ishwara. Even Brahmaji can only create. He cannot sustain. He can create. He cannot sustain. And Vishnu can only sustain. He cannot create. That is not his job. Shiva as Rudra can only destroy, not create or sustain. Each one has only one job. Therefore, all my glories, even Brahmaji and so on, don't know me. They also don't know me. I am. It is me alone. That means, आप ये बात समझिए, here Bhagwan wants to explain that it is he who is in form of appearance. It is he who is in form of sustenance. It is he in form of layam. It is he alone. It is he alone. This is his glory of being appearing as Sansara. Sansara is his glory. Not only that, even Maharishis, the great sages, don't know me. Maharishi is a great sage. Mahan cha Asau Rishi. He is a great and he is also a sage. Maharishi are the ones who know, from whom we get all our knowledge. Even they don't know Ishwara's glory totally. पूर्ण रूप से नहीं जानते हैं. In general, they know everything. As a Jnani, they know the truth of everything. As Aham Satyam Brahma, and everything else is Mithya. Everything known and unknown, and everything else is Mithya. Everything known and unknown is Brahman alone. That knowledge is Sarvajnatvaha, omniscience. But it is different from omniscience of Ishvara. Ishvara has that omniscience plus all the details of the Mithya. These details even the Maharishi don't know. See, you have to understand that whatever is appearing Mithya is also Ishvara. Now, this is the point Bhagavan wants to make. जो दिख रहा है, that जगत, ये जगत रूप से दिख रहा है. हाँ, जगत रूप से दिख रहा है, पर ये दिखना भी ईश्वर है. और जो जगत दिख रहा है, that दिखना भी ईश्वर है. ईश्वर सत्य है, बट सत्य जो है वो जगत रूप में दिख रहा है. That means मिथ्या is also ईश्वरा. मिथ्या भी जो है वो ईश्वर ही है, ईश्वर से अलग नहीं है. मिथ्या जो है वो ईश्वरी है, दिख रहा है. बिल्कुल, आप बिल्कुल लहर देख रहे हैं. देयर इज नो हार्म, देयर इज नो प्रॉब्लम. भगवान सेज what you are seeing is jagat, whatever you are seeing is jagat, but that jagat, that mithya jagat, that mithya is also me. That mithya is sat only. ऐसा नहीं कि that is not there. It is not there is नहीं है, it is there. It is Sat, it is me, it is my glory which appears as Jagat. It is me, this appearance. This is to be everything known and known is Brahman alone. That knowledge is Sarvajna. These details even Maharishi don't know. Aham Adihi Devanam Maharishinam cha Sarvasah. Because I am the cause of all gods and sages, it is something like the son being told by father how wonderful his marriage was. It went on for 4 days. But the first day, Bhanumati danced. The second day, Aryavadi Ramanujan sang. The third day, Maharaj Puram Sthanam sang. And the fourth day, Samadhi Gudi Srinivasa Iyer came. Hundreds of people came and there was a great canopy. And on being told all this, the son asked, why you did not take me? ये इस प्रकार से है. भगवान कहते हैं कि एक व्यक्ति का शादी हुई, शादी में अपनी शादी का वर्णन अपने बेटे को कर रहा है. मेरा शादी बहुत सुंदर हुआ. अब पहले दिन 4 दिन तक हमारी शादी चली. पहले दिन the great artist, the great Kathak dancer came and she danced so beautiful. It was great. Everybody enjoyed the dance. Second day में Sonu Nigam came and sang the songs for us. Third day में Shah Rukh Khan and all these actors and all these people came and they performed. Third day में there were great singer called Sunidhi Chauhan and all these people came and sang. And then the great, one of the greatest Pandita from Lakshmi Narayana temple came and he performed the yajna. Then son said, okay, all that was good, but why didn't you invite me? मुझे क्यों नहीं बुलाया अपनी शादी में? How can the son ever know all about the marriage directly, even though the father described it so thoroughly? He can only have indirect knowledge, born of description in words, words that have their own limitations, experienced both by speaker and the listener. This is very important. You must understand this. The son cannot experience the exact marriage. जो पुत्र है वो एग्जैक्ट मैरिज को नहीं एक्सपीरियंस कर सकता. He can through words he can experience it, but he cannot become a witnesser. He cannot. Same way. Words have you can have indirect knowledge, but then the direct, this is Bhagwan's vibhuti. The knowledge is there. Knowledge is. Through words you recognize it. Then there is no words left. Words are not always understood as they are meant. The limitation of language on the part of the listener and the speaker edit, abridge, and distort the very experience that is being described. This is the problem in indirect knowledge. Because he was not there at that time, the son cannot have the same knowledge as the father. Similarly, Bhagavan says, all these devas do not know my glories totally, because I am the cause of all these devas and maharishis. जैसे पिता जो है पुत्र का होने का कारण है, वैसे ही it is me. पिता का marriage cannot be witnessed by son. So these devas, you can only be Paramatma. See, nobody, only Paramatma can explain. You can understand Paramatma. Only you can understand Paramatma. Nobody in this world can explain Paramatma. Paramatma can be only understood. परमात्मा जो है वो सिर्फ समझा जा सकता है. No words can reach Paramatma. There is no word that can describe Paramatma. This is what Bhagavan is saying. Therefore, these this is what Bhagavan, no word, no devas and no Maharishi. Maharishi ko gyan hai, but then he cannot give his gyan. He can only give indirect knowledge. He can give only the words. What can Maharishi give? He can only give you words. You have to, from those words, you have to grasp. उन शब्दों में से आपको परमात्मा को जानना है. Through words you understand Paramatma. This is why Bhagavan says, words don't know me. I am not the word, but words help you to know me. Rishis, devas, devatas. You look up, Bhagavan, hey Surya Devai Namaha. Now Surya can only illumine. But illumination, that should happen here in your mind. When you see a figure, a murti or a photo or a picture of Devata, that picture is not Devata, Ishwara, Paramatma. It is your Jnanam. Through Jnanam you know Paramatma, that knowledge of Paramatma. Even the word knowledge is incomplete. This is Bhagavan's vibhuti. This is Bhagavan's glory. He is free of all, even the mind. So Bhagavan says, all these devas do not know my glory totally, because I am the cause of all these devas and Maharishis. The creation is presented in the Shruti as coming about in various ways, straight from Yugapat. Everything comes simultaneously from Bhagavan, or it comes in this order. First Akasha, then Vayu, then Agni, then Jalam, Prithvi, all afterwards Stula, Bhutas, the gross elements. An order is pointed out here. The first comes a Hiranya Garbha. and afterwards creates everything. First comes, पहला क्या होता है? सबसे पहले भगवान कहते हैं there is an order. Now he says you can take it as an order. First it is me. It is me appear as हिरण्यगर्भ. हिरण्यगर्भ के रूप में दिखता हूं. Then हिरण्यगर्भ, in हिरण्यगर्भ is seen in two, prana and matter. And then the entire everything you can point out. The matter is all akasha, vayu, agni, jalam, prithvi, everything. Sthula, bhutas, gross elements and pranas, everything that is Ishwara. There are many mode of creation mentioned in Shastra. But anyway, you take it, I am the cause. Aham adihi, main hi, I am what is being seen. Seeing is my glory. Seeing in the fact, in that there is no option at all. Whichever way you look at it, I am at the beginning. Main hi, it is me alone which you see. Since I am Adi, the cause of both the Devas and Maharishi, what can they know about me? Everything they know was taught by me, and all that I know they cannot know. They don't know the entirety. They know only whatever I have told them. आप उतना ही सीखते हैं जितना शास्त्र में दिखाई समझ में आता है. Bhagavan is beyond. This is the glory of Ishwara. He is the entirety. Entirety is He. Here Bhagavan is pointing out that He is the most qualified to talk about His Vibhuti. Only He can talk about His glory. There is no one else. कोई और भगवान की ग्लोरीज को नहीं बता सकता. It is Bhagavan only, because nobody knows nobody knows the absolute Paramatma. Nobody knows the absolute. Why they don't know, Ji? Why they don't know the absolute? Because they are the absolute. Ununderstood, they are the absolute. You are absolute. Only you not as individual, but as Paramatma, you know everything. This is what Bhagavan says. It is Bhagavan is pointing out that he is the most qualified and talk about his vibhutis and glory. The Maharishis and all are human beings. They are all individuals. Individual cannot. Even though they are endowed with great power, they are only jivas, mortal. So are the devas. That is why all of them cannot know my glory. Bhagavan कहना चाह रहे, no word can explain my glory. No word can explain me. No word can reach me. Only you. When you lose your individuality, you are Paramatma. This is something great. You have to understand. So are the devas. That is why all of them cannot know my glory. Prabhava usually means creation, but in keeping with the subject matter in the present chapter, Bhagavan Shankaracharya explained that it refers to the total Shakti, the glory of Bhagavan. They don't know. My glory is totally, because they all have limited knowledge. Words can explain only limited knowledge. Words are limited. शब्द जो हैं, जो शब्द है, जो वाक्य है, ये वाक्य की एक लिमिटेशन है. Limited cannot explain the unlimited. Limited cannot know the unlimited. You can only be unlimited. You can only be Paramatma. You cannot know Paramatma. You can never understand Paramatma being a Jiva. एक जीव रूप में रहते हुए आप परमात्मा को नहीं पहचान सकते. To understand Paramatma, you have to completely understand Paramatma and be Paramatma. Only Paramatma knows. This is what Bhagavan says. It is only me who knows my glories. Individuals can't know my glories. Being individual, you can't even access to everything. You don't have that kind of capacity. You have the capacity to understand, but capacity to know you don't have. So you can be me. You can be me. And that being me is glory. And that be me is absolute glorious. My glory is totally because they have limited. They may be devas who know a lot more than mortals here, and the rishis definitely know a lot more than any other mortal. But the standpoint of sarvagyatva, omniscience, all of them are kinchik gyas, a limited knowledge. That is why they cannot know my glories totally. Much less can they talk about them. Nobody can talk about. भगवान का glories के बारे में बात भी नहीं कर सकते हैं. Nobody can talk even. They have limited. Everybody, even the one speaking is limited. The one who is limited, what will he speak, Ji? What will he speak? Nothing. It is Paramatma. You can only, through words, you can only understand. That understanding helps you to be Paramatma. Then as a Paramatma, you are glorious. So Bhagavan says, only I am qualified. It is only me who is qualified to talk about them. Only Bhagavan is qualified to talk. It is only Bhagavan who speaks. There is no one else in Sansara who can speak about Bhagavan. भगवान के बारे में बात करना सिर्फ भगवान ही कर सकते हैं. Nobody else can do it. This is called prasamaha, praise, prasannaha, prashanshaha, prasanshaha, भगवान की प्रशंसा, praise of the subject matter. It is what I am going to tell you, only I am qualified to talk of. It is only Paramatma who can talk. It is only Paramatma who has the rights to talk. It is only Paramatma who is certified to. You don't. Nobody can get a certificate of talking about Paramatma, because Paramatma doesn't need any certification. Paramatma talks. It is only Paramatma can talk about Paramatma. And it is only Paramatma who can hear Paramatma. Nobody else can understand Paramatma. So what I am going to tell you, only I am qualified to talk of. Thus Bhagavan Krishna, Bhagavan himself gives certification to himself. It is only me who can talk. Bhagavan introduced himself as Ishwara here. Bhagavan says, I am the one who has the ability to talk. And he calls Arjuna as Mahabhav. You have the ability to listen. You have the ability to understand. I have the ability to talk. That is why I am talking. You have the ability to listen. That is why you are listening. Both of us are Paramatma alone. Paramatma alone is. Only Paramatma can say, only Paramatma can hear. This is what Paramatma is. These are the glory of Paramatma. Thus, Lord Krishna, Bhagavan introduced himself as Ishvara. Whether Bhagavan presents himself as Ishwar Avatara or Vyasa presents him as Ishvara, it does not really matter. Bhagavan, Krishna is Ishvara. Krishna means, here Krishna means Ishvara. Here Bhagavan, the one who is teaching, the one who is teaching is Ishvara. This is what Bhagavan is saying. The teacher is only Paramatma is the teacher. ये पहले हमने बहुत पहले ये बात किया. The teacher is Paramatma. But why only why teacher is Paramatma? Because Paramatma only can. Paramatma is only capable of explaining himself. No individual can explain. No individual. It is Paramatma who explains. It is Paramatma. It does not really. Bhagavan is Ishvara. So the dialogue here is between Ishvara and Jiva, Krishna and Arjuna. Bhagavan, he calls himself as Ishvara and Arjuna as Mahabaho. I am the one who is capable of talking, and you are Mahabaho, capable of listening, understanding. One who is the one who says he is omniscient. When this statement is made by Krishna, we look upon him as Ishvara. There is no problem in that. But a question arises, by whom is this statement? I am Sarvagya, the one who knows everything, and therefore I am going to tell you everything is made. ये बात कौन कह रहा है? It is by Sarvagya, Satchit. It is not, ये जो बात कह रहे हैं ना, it is not a form, it is not a name and form. Bhagwan is not a name and form. Now here you have to understand, it is not the name and form that is being talked about. It is not, भगवान ये नहीं कह रहे कि मैं ये नाम और रूप से तुम्हें बताता हूं. भगवान कह रहे free of नाम and रूपा, I explain you. It is me, free of nama and रूपा. सर्वज्ञ सच्चिद आनंद आत्मा, or is by Paramatma the knower. It is by Paramatma. It is me. The one who knows is called Paramata. When you read this and understand, you become Paramata. When you hear this, जब आप ये समझते हैं, जब परमात्मा का definition बताया जाता है, when it is said, you are Paramatma, the words they enter into your mind and you understand yourself as Paramata. And what is understood becomes Prameya. The understanding itself is Parama and means of understanding the Paramana. So there is no doubt here as to whether the Sarvagya is Paramata or Satchidanandatma. Because in order to be Sarvagya, you must necessarily have something more, namely an Upadhi apart from Satchidanandatma, which is knowledge as pure, as such, pure consciousness. In that way, every Atma is Sarvagya, but that is not Sarvagyatvaha that is being talked about. Here, when Bhagavan says he knows everything, he knows everything that requires the knowledge of all the details of Mithya Jagat. For that, something else, an Upadhi is required. Without that, there is no knowledge possible. And again, he is not only, he not only said, I know, but also said, I am going to tell you in detail, having the status of being a speaker and also an all knowledge person is not possible for Satchidanand Atma, which does not undergo any change. Omniscience with the knowledge of all the details and being a speaker are not applicable at all to pure Satchidanand Atma. Therefore, the one who says this is not just Satchidanand Atma. So he is a Upadhi. In form of Upadhi, in form of Rupa, Nam and Rupa, he is the Satchidananda explains. It is only Satchidananda who can explain Paramatma. So then who is it that knows and speak? Only the Paramata, the knower can know and therefore can talk. जो जानता है वही बोलता है. But if you take Lord Krishna as Paramata, a knower, then you would be attributing Jivatvam in him. So you first have to take that it is not Jivatvam, it is Paramatama, Paramata that speaks. This is because generally every knower is a Jiva. If Krishna is also Jiva, he cannot be omniscient. If he is not omniscient, he would not be qualified to talk about. अगर कोई individual होगा, is not qualified. Ishwara's glory. Therefore, Paramata, as we know, cannot be Sarvagya. If neither Satchidanandatma nor Paramatma can be Sarvagya, then who is Sarvagya? There are two forms of any jiva. Whether it is a deva or a human being or a worm, one is called Vastava Rupa. One is called the Vastava Rupa, what is essentially true. It is not negatable at all. The other is called Adhyasik Rupa, a status. एक है आपका सर्वस्व रूप, वास्तविक रूप, and other one is adhyasik rupa, a status or role that is assumed, that is superimposed upon Atma. Your Paramatma is your वास्तविक रूप, आपका वास्तविक रूप है. क्या रूप है? Your Paramatma is your Vastavik Rupa. And what is superimposed on that? Your Adhyasik Rupa. The Jivatvam is superimposed. The role is superimposed. Like an actor who has an essentially personality and at the same time a role that he plays. एक actor का, he's a simple, very सीधा साधा person in general. In general means वास्तविक रूप में, he is a general. Mr. Amitabh Bachchan is very sober person. He doesn't get angry. He is a very simple person. But when he superimposes a role of a villain in film, then he becomes angry. He plays a role of angry young man. That is superimposition. Superimposed role. So this Jivatvam is superimposed on the Paramatma, the Atma. You have superimposed, like an actor who has an essentially personality and at the same time a role that he plays. Similarly, every Jiva has superimposed form and an essential one. This is also true for Ishvara. But between Jiva and Ishvara, there is no distinction at all in reality. That is, there is no Vastavik difference. Vastavik difference nahi hai. Both essentially Satchidanand. Even Swarupa Vam is Satchidananda, and Vastav of any creation, Vastavik Rupa of any creation, whether a Deva or Gandharva or Yaksha or a human being or a cow, is one and the same Satchidananda. There is no difference whatsoever. कोई difference नहीं है. वास्तविक रूप में it ईश्वर है. पर ईश्वर जो है वो superimposed रूप में भी ईश्वर है. This is why only Ishvara, the one who is clear, has the ability to speak. There is no difference whatsoever. When Lord says aham, when the Jiva says aham, that aham is the one and the same Satchidananda Atma. So whereas the one form, Adhyasik Rupa, has the status of being a knower, doer and so on, it is the reference to his Adhyasik Rupa. That there is seeming difference between Jiva and Ishvara. When you bring the knower, you bring in your buddhi, your intellect, the upadhi that makes Satchidananda Atma to seemingly gain the status of being Paramatma. यहां पर यू ब्रिंग इन द, आप अपने स्वरूप में, योर सच्चिदानंद brings in superimposed roop. That is why individual doesn't, the jiva doesn't have any capacity to speak about Ishvara. भगवान के बारे में बात करना is not possible for a jiva. It is Paramatma only who can speak about a jiva. A jiva to be knower must identify with buddhi. So the buddhi determines the incidental status, adhyasika rupa, which is superimposed upon Atma and called a knower, but it is not real. So, in the status of being a knower, there is seemingly difference between Ishvara and Jiva. Therefore, there is a difference between Ishvara and Jiva. This we should understand very carefully. So the Atma of one person and another person, both Satchidanand Atma, but in the Buddhi, there is definitely the difference. That Buddhi which takes itself as a Jiva, जो बुद्धि है वो अपने आप को जीव, जो जहां पर बुद्धि अपने आप को जीव, there is the difference. The difference begins. The difference, I am other than this, the difference begins. So in the status of being knower, there is a difference between the two jivas. When a jiva is Satchidananda, how does he become a knower? It is only due to the upadhi. From the empirical standpoint, he is seer, hearer, thinker, doer, and so on. Similarly, with the reference of Vyavaharika Srishti, empirical creation, Ishvara is also Paramatma. Just like a jiva due to upadhi alone, he is Paramata. There is a gradation of knowledge, which is why among individual one has knowledge of law, while other knows medicine. So a lawyer has to go to a doctor and doctor has to go to a lawyer. They both of limited knowledge. Therefore, जो बुद्धि है, बुद्धि has only a limited knowledge. बुद्धि में limited ज्ञान आ सकता है. Buddhi can have limited knowledge. Because being a upadhi, it can have limited knowledge. Now, what about Ishvara? You cannot say what the jiva knows. Ishvara does not know. The situation is somewhat like that. The teacher and student. Teacher. Here, Bhagavan becomes the teacher. Bhagavan is the knower. He is not a buddhi. Bhagavan is not a jiva. Bhagavan is this. I'll explain this in great detail. Don't worry about this. We will do. Upadhi accounts for gradation in knowledge. ये सब बात हम करेंगे. Why Bhagavan says कि even this is not, nobody knows Bhagavan properly. Only I can. Only Bhagavan can speak. Only Bhagavan can speak about Bhagavan's reality. ये बात भगवान कैसे कहते हैं? Because Bhagavan is being a upadhi, he is not a upadhi. The upadhi he takes on. From the upadhi standpoint of view, he talks, but he is not upadhi. He is not of name and form. He is not a name and form, given name and form. He is Paramatma. He is knowledge. He is Jnanam. That is why he is Jnanam. Jnanam Anantam Brahma. This is what Bhagavan is. So to understand this, it is Bhagavan who explains that I am. Only Bhagavan can say that. When will you say? You cannot say. As an individual, you cannot say. As an individual, as a jiva, you cannot say I am Bhagavan. As a jiva, you cannot say I am Bhagavan. From Upadhi's point of view, you cannot say I am Bhagavan. You are Bhagavan, there is no doubt, but not from that jiva. Jiva, that is to be understood. We have to understand this very clearly. We'll do this. So we put rest to today's lecture. It was a great lecture today from Swamiji. Very greatly explained We will do it again. थोड़ा और डिटेल में इसको समझेंगे, because this is very serious thing. Why only Bhagwan can speak? Nobody else can speak. It is only Paramatma. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Ishwarar Paramastu. Om Paramatmanayar Paramastu. Om Shri Krishnayar Paramastu. Om Shri Gurudevayar Paramastu. Hari Om Tat Sat. All what was spoken today is spoken by Paramatma alone, my teacher, my Guru Deva, my teacher Swami Prabhupada, and his teacher Swami Dayananda. All this is being taught by them. There is no one else who can teach this. It is all being taught by the Paramatma himself. They are Ishwaras. He is the Ishwara.